Another great segment from Daniel Marins. Daniel, I concur wholeheartedly. One of the, I think, the legacies 10 years after the Iraq War is that our nation, our suspicions, our lack of trust in our government perhaps may not be the same for generations because so many Americans 10 years ago put their trust that our government was being honest with us, that, well, our government must know if there's indications that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. Our government wouldn't deliberately lie to us. And yet, the proof, as you pointed out, is that, yes, they did deliberately lie. And our media, most of the media fell down on the job. And instead of asking the tough questions, the media simply went along. And oh, by the way, our politicians, never mind the Bush White House, but those in Congress, this was the first war in U.S. history where there had not been money raised through a tax. There had not been new revenue to specifically pay for the war. And as I said to so many guests on MSNBC 10 years ago, I said, if this war is worth fighting, then isn't it worth raising taxes to pay for it? How can you pass the cost of this war on to future generations? Sheepishly, some Democrats and a few Republicans would say, yeah, that's a problem. But they went ahead and they just put it on the government credit card anyway. And now they complain about our deficits. Well, this was a shameful series of decisions that was made 10 years ago, not just by the Bush administration, not just by members of Congress, and not just by the media. It was also a shameful time for Americans in general, because far too many of us simply decided, you know what, we're just going to accept what our government is saying. We're not going to ask tough questions. We're not going to be skeptical. We're not going to stand up and demand answers. Too many of us just went along. And this is the result. So that's the legacy 10 years from now, and a legacy that perhaps won't be repeated, at least for some time. I don't think the United States will go to war again against a country that is not threatening us right now. And I think the next time we do have to rely on our government to provide us accurate information and to somehow trust that our government is telling us the truth, I think a lot of people are going to remember March of 2003 and the events leading up to that in the Bush administration and say, can we really trust our government this time? After all, we trusted them once before, and look what happened. That's our show for this weekend, March 16th edition. Thanks to everybody for listening to Take Action News on WEAC Radio. A special thanks, of course, to our executive producer, Daniel Marins, our board operator, Rich Webster, Alex Lawson, Cliff Schechter, Kimon Freeman from WEAC Radio, Charlie Mitchell, Ben Barnett, Alan Rosenblatt, Keith Atkinson, the entire gang from Take Action News. And on behalf of everybody, Take Action News and WEAC Radio, thanks so much for being part of our program this weekend. We'll see you right back here on the show next weekend. I'm David Shuster. Have a great weekend and have a great week, everybody. So long.